Lions, how we doing? Good morning. Yeah. Let's do the damn thing. Previously on Kimba TV. Long, short. And then we're smack dab in the middle, so just don't get got. You know, make your decisions off of data. Let's go. Nothing changed? Yeah, nothing changed. So well, just a continuation off of yesterday. All right, we got a lot of work to do today. I need to open. Thomas says, what's crazy is that we have GDP, CPI, and unemployment on the same day. No, you probably mean PCE. You probably mean PCE. We already did CPI. Yeah, GDP, PCE, and unemployment. Yeah. And then the week after that is FOMC, my guy. So Thomas, like this whole week, it was kind of crabby, right? Would you say that this week was crabby, chat? And then this coming week, we don't have that much on Forex Factory, right? But the week after is boom, 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 boom. So like this week was crabby, like everybody yawning, talking about, oh, it's so boring, it's so low volume, blah, 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 blah. Hey, and it's going to be crazy volatility like for 2 weeks in about 5-6 days. You guys understand? Yeah, the drones are going to be flying, brother. Yeah. So even if it's been crabbing all week, dude, I've been locked in. I've been watching higher time frame CVDs. I've been picking up on patterns. I don't know if y'all been picking up on some patterns, but I've been picking up on some patterns, especially with like open interest and Bybit. You know what I'm talking about? So, and if you've been in the game long enough, you know that the markets will sometimes hint at certain things that it's trying to do. It's almost kind of like a Coinbase Week of Destiny, you know, like market makers, markets, they like to test shit out. They like to try shit out. So whether you want to take that and just kind of apply it in a general sense, like humans are habitual animals and the same shit happens over and over and over, or you want to be a little bit more specific and understand that it's really just about pattern recognition in this game. Lots of stuff that we were able to extract from, I feel like, this week. So I'm excited, man. Yeah, head on a swivel. You know we're not going to get got. Don't get got. Continue to do the right thing. Show up prepared with your own plan. You got to trust what you see. I'm excited. Yeah, anything like general or even something super specific you want to talk about, Thomas? Obviously, I think you specifically, I would expect that you have the bad highs and bad lows identified, right? I think you have all the single prints identified, right, Thomas? Regardless of how badly you want to get in, the safer thing right now going into a 3-day holiday weekend is you're already in a position from the RTH volume and price action. And if you get got, you get got. Like if you get stopped out, you got stopped out. You know, if you get round tripped, you get round tripped. But really trying to be disciplined. Don't get got and, take a FOMO position. Don't get baited. I need more coffee. Gamer girl, what's going on? Raphael says, box got hit, still waiting to long there. Say what? Raphael, don't cheat yourself. Make sure you get caught up. I've explained everything. Okay? Highlights. The short answer is, brother, we don't long or short random levels, especially on a 3-day holiday weekend when the volume is even lower than a normal traditional weekend. But if the data is there, Raphael, if I were to ask you what type of data and edge do I like, can you list off the 3? If I specifically ask you about the long, can you tell me how I would prioritize said edge? And last but not least, Raphael, I was very explicit about I'm going to have to wait until blank to be able to take a long. So you got to get caught up on the Thursday highlight. You got to get caught up on the Wednesday highlight and Thursday highlight. Okay, but the plan has been explicitly laid out. Pixel perfect. All right, I hope that helps. So if it hits a level, I'm never taking a long just because it hit the level. So what I'm really looking for a good long, Raphael, is S&P confluence, which is most likely going to mean that I'm going to wait until Monday RTH. Yeah. And like, if you don't understand why I think there's still a little bit more room to the downside, but I am going to start to, the clock is ticking on when and why I want to take a long. Do you understand that? We earlier this morning, we were talking about rate cuts. And people were asking, hey, do you think Jerome Powell is going to get fired? And I said, no, Jerome Powell knows he's going to cut rates. Trump knows he's going to cut rates. It's just political theater. Okay, which one do you think is more effective in showcasing power? Trump says, hey, if you don't do what I say, I'm going to fire you. And the guy is defiant to his exit. And Jerome Powell says, I don't give a shit what you say. I'm going to do me. Fire me if you want. And he gets fired. Or Trump says, hey, if you don't fucking cut rates, I'm going to fire your ass. And he cuts rates. Not because he doesn't want to get fired, but because that was going to happen anyways. Because the data is the data and the math is the math. So we've been talking about a lot of stuff, Raphael. It's not as simple as, hey, it's going to go to a box. Are you going to long? All right. So if you really care, down to the pixel, I have explained everything. If you don't care, or if you want to do you, that's okay. But if you really want to know what I'm thinking, then everything has been explained pixel perfect. So, if you want to know, it's all there for you. Sounds good? Cheers, brother. Let's get it. It's Easter weekend. What's going on, Verti? Yeah, you know me. I think it'll just be pretty chill and crabby, hopefully. If it does go to 82.5 or 85.7, 85.6, then, those are all levels of interest. So here, 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 here. So if anything, brother, you could set an alert, and then go enjoy the weekend, because you're not going to do anything if it does this. That's kind of like what I'm going to be doing for the next couple days. And I'm locked in on a bunch of stuff that I got coming up, Mike. Show ya. Fox Knox says, don't even know much what I'm looking at here, to be honest. On this stream right here, I can go over it real quick. Well, obviously on the far right is the Agger, right? So it's order flow. Yeah? And then what you're looking at is the same thing I have on my stream, which is Bookmap. So Bookmap is an aggregated order book. What that means is it's taking the order book from Bybit, from Binance, from OKEX, all the top exchanges, the big exchanges, and you're seeing it in the column, Fox Knox. Okay? So at 84,320, at 84,400, at 84, at that price, it's telling you what the limit orders are. Okay? And so, for example, can you see that there's 650 Bitcoin, okay, at 84,250, like somewhere between, so it's like 200 between 240 and 260. Do you see that red line down there? The red line is going to indicate big orders. So can you tell that at 84,250, between all the exchanges, there's a limit long order of 640 Bitcoin. You see it, Fox Knox? So the columns indicate the limit orders, okay? The bubbles, so the big green bubbles are limit longs. No. The limit longs are the orders that you're seeing down there. The bubbles are market orders. So when you see a green bubble, it's a market buy. When you see a red bubble, it's a market short. And so what you're seeing is you're seeing market orders. Hold on a second. Question from Fibception. Hi, Kimba. Sorry to beat a dead horse. Are you still planning to do Alt Nerd Out today? Or do you think it's time-wise? I can go over it, Fibception. Do you need to dip? Just want to plan out my time if possible. I hope you don't hold it against me. No, of course not. It's Good Friday. I was gonna just look at like XRP, Link, Cardano, Bitcoin, and Sol. So do you want me to do it right now, Fibception? I don't really even know if there's anything that changed, to be honest. I can do it real quick, or you can come back and we can do it later. It's kind of up to you. So yeah, so anyways, Fox Knox, does that make sense? So Bookmap is basically what CVD is, okay? CVD is cumulative volume delta, okay? So it's basically showing you the interaction of market orders against limit orders, okay? So the metaphor that I like to kind of give people is think of being in a castle and you're under attack. And you can see if your walls are holding up well or if your walls are actually getting fucked up. Imagine if you were a king and you were in your castle and you're under attack and they're launching catapults, right? They're launching shit, okay? And you're seeing that shit coming, you're seeing that shit coming, you're seeing that shit coming. This does not look like a castle. But imagine you're chilling, right? And they're launching shit. They're launching shit. And that, being able to tell if the wall is holding or not, that's what's called CVD divergence. And so what you need to do is you need to understand when uptrend is getting exhausted, when the uptrend is getting absorbed, when the downtrend is getting exhausted, and when the downtrend is getting absorbed. And that, my friend, is why I share this with you guys. Because this yellow line right here, that's divergence. Okay? So, with this and Bookmap, you're going to be able to see the enemy launch their attack and see if your wall is going to hold, if the defense is Gucci or if it's not. That's what I mean by you can look at the data and you can actually tell if you have a reason to long or a reason to short. Okay? Yeah, so this is the order book that you're seeing, aggregated order book. All right, Fox? Big red line is a big buy, sell order. Yeah, it's a big buy because it's green. You see it? You see how it's green right there? That's a long. Those are shorts, limit shorts because they're red. These are longs, okay? So between OKEX, Bybit, Binance, and like maybe two more exchanges at 84,250, currently there's 640 Bitcoin, 636, 638, like people are canceling and adding, etc. There's about 635 Bitcoin waiting to be longed. So if you went to Binance and you went to their order book, right, and took whatever was in there, and you went to Bybit and you went to OKEX and you added all of it up, you would see this number. Foxnox says, so to break that, we are going to need a massive dump by some whale. Well, first things first, it's all relative, right? I will, it's all testnet, but I can individually do a 700, 800 Bitcoin position. So I don't want you to think like a 600, 500 Bitcoin long is like some alpha. It could be like a degenerate like me. Okay. Now, as with everything in crypto, Foxnox, observation is not analysis. So you telling me that you see a bullish divergence, okay, does not mean that you did actual analysis. Doing actual analysis is being able to take that observation and convert that into a quantifiable measurement, meaning a probability. So if you, a lot of times people will be like, hey, there's a bull div. Are you going to take that long, Kimba? And I'll say, yeah, but the last 5 bull divs, they couldn't make a higher high. Why are we going to take it now? And people will be like, oh. So it's not about seeing it and assuming what you think is going to happen. It's about what has actually happened in the past. So Foxnox, watch. OGs and veterans, if you had to put money on it, is a whale going to dump, and is that guy going to get filled? Or is that guy going to cancel it last minute and spoof it? So Foxnox, it's not about what you think. It's about what you know that it has done in the past. The probability says the price is going to eventually get down there and the guy is going to cancel it last minute. So a whale doesn't need to dump it to break it because there will be nothing to break when it gets down there. So we've seen this hundreds and hundreds of times. I would say, especially on a 3-day holiday weekend, you're looking at about 85% probability that the guy will cancel it last minute. He's not going to get filled. Okay? Like 85 out of the hundreds of times that, we've seen it, 85%, he's going to cancel it. He's not going to get filled. But people that have never seen it are going to be like, wow, some rich motherfucker, some hedge fund must be longing. I'm going to long here too. And then the guy cancels last minute and everybody that was just fucking longing for the sake of it, they all get taken. But everything that I say, Foxnox, it is rarely my own opinion. There's people here that have been watching me for 3 years. There's people here that have been watching me for 2.5 years. There's people here that have been watching me for 2 years. There's people that have been watching me for 1.5 years, a year, 6 months. They'll all tell you that I'm only repeating and reminding y'all what we've all seen together in the past. I'm not going to just randomly say, hey, like this is probably what's going to happen. It's usually, hey, remember this day and remember last week, remember last month, remember 3 months ago, remember when it did this. Just be careful, guys. So never ever take anything that I say for granted or at face value. I want you to see it for yourself. So if this is your first time that you've seen a Bitcoin wall of 600, 800, 1,000. Earlier, it was 1,700. Okay? Did you see the 1,200 Bitcoin wall earlier that got spoofed? So start paying attention to what happens. Keep track of it. And you're going to be able to start to form your own biases. I want you to see it for yourself, not just believe what I'm saying. Because this is a game of probabilities. Even though me and thousands of other lines have seen it, 85% of the time it's spoofs. Maybe it's the 15% that guy actually gets filled. And I don't want you to think that just because it did it one time that's what it's going to do every single time. It's a game of probability. So you need to be comfortable with understanding that these things happen over and over and over. It's not always exactly 100% the same every single time, but there are very clear biases and tendencies that you can try to play. Kachoy? Fox Knox says, can I ask what the 3 charts that you have in the middle with light lines? Absolutely, Fox Knox. So on the left-hand side, okay, these are liquidation algorithms. All right. So KingFisher, what KingFisher does is it pivots off of leverage. You can go to KingFisher and you can see that you can go to all, optical, which is like high, long-term high leverage. So like people that have 33x, 25x, but they've been holding it for a really, really long time, okay? Basically, the highest probability sweeps, because that's basically retail max pain, right? Motherfuckers that are juicing on high leverage, and they've been holding it for a really, really long time, and they round trip it. That's the most retail thing you can do, right? Like you're juicing the fuck up, and somehow, some way, you're dumbass, you give it all back, right? So optical is long-term, high leverage. Obviously, high leverage is high, less high is less high, medium leverage, low leverage. And so KingFisher takes in the order flow and they interpret how much leverage people are using. And based off of that, they're mapping out what they think the liquidations for trades are building up at. So what I'm showing here is the optical leverage, the highest probable liquidity sweep zones, and these are long-term high leverage positions. Okay? And so if the price goes to here, then that's how much you would have in terms of longs that get stopped out. If the price goes up to here, that's how many shorts would get liquidated. All right, so what you need to do is be able to pivot off of all the different time frames and see the smaller time frame, medium time frame, and higher time frame liquidity. All right, HyblockCapital pivots off of time. So instead of leverage, it's taking like the order flow and organizing it into time. So this is 1 month. This is all of the order flow in the last month. And this is how they see liquidity. This is everything in the last week. And this is in the last 12 hours. So based off of the order flow in the last 12 hours, there's a lot of liquidity. There's a bunch of liquidations here, 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 here. You know, for the last 7 days worth of order flow. So from all the longs and shorts in this price action, right? Their liquidations are here, 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 and here. Obviously, the closer shit is the higher leverage, right? And then the lower leverage positions, they have more wiggle room, so their stops and their liquidations are going to be further away from the price. All right? So the far right, order flow, really smooth and crispy. This is order blocks. And then the left-hand side is liquidity map. Fox Knox says, so these are the levels you're looking to be taken out for potential change in direction, kinda. There you go. Yeah. So do you see how powerful each, like all this shit is? Right? So CVD can tell you what? CVD divergences can tell you, hey man, this bullish run, it's getting a little bit tired. Hey man, this bearish dump, it's getting a little bit tired. Whoa, look at this sell wall absorbing this crazy pump. Whoa, look at this buy wall absorbing this crazy dump. Okay? And then you can be like, holy fuck. Did this fucking idiot just fucking short the bottom? Did this fucking idiot just long the top? Okay? And then you throw in a little bit of S&P confluence, some Bugammas and levels. And you can start to have edge. You know, now you don't have to blindly gamble, flip a coin that you might bounce from here a little bit. You don't have to pray to Sato, you know, that it's going to dump from here a little bit. You're going to be able to see strength, exhaustion, people opening or getting trapped. You know, did you get to that level because shorts and longs got squeezed, or is it an actual open interest increase? You see how you can use the data to put yourself in a fighting chance, Fox Knox? And look, brother, even with all that being said, it still might not long, it still might not pump, it still might not dump, you know? And so that's why at the end of it all, brother, everything falls back to your risk management and not being greedy and putting your stop loss in front of your entry. So, you know, if you're wrong, the worst thing that can happen is you take a tiny ass loss or you walk away with tiny profit. All right. And it's like we could sit here and debate, you know, if we want a long or short. But there is no debating if that's a bad high or a bad low. There's no arguing if that's a single print or if it's not. There's no arguing if that is a CVD bull div or not. So there's certain things that are not up for debate. And what you're seeing is what I'm seeing. If I can see a CVD hidden bull div, you guys surely can too. It's not like, you know, like I can see it and you can't. It's there for you. So if you can just figure out how to read the data, how to basically figure out if you have edge or not, and then couple that risk taking with risk management, and you're going to have a pretty, you know, good time, I think. And what you're going to start to realize is the game is such, you know, you have no room for error. So the one time that you start to add to a fucked up position, or you start moving your stop loss and they have you and they got you, that's how you really take huge losses. And like if you know math, like it's, you know, exponentially harder to get back what you lost, you know? So it's really just about protecting what you have. Just build that bitch up slowly but surely, and, you know, trying your best to not get got and just, you know, have that one or two fucked up bad trade that, you know, they take everything from you. So if you can just, you know, be consistent with your excellence, you're going to be good. And that's the game. It's like brain surgery. It's like heart surgery. Like the margin for error is so small. It's like being a boxer, dude. You take one half second, you know, off, or you relax and boom, you might get knocked out. You know, you get distracted about your personal life and maybe you kill your patient, you know, during open heart surgery. You lose focus for 1 second and you give up a touchdown or a score. So you either really like that or you're deathly afraid of that. You know? But if you can embrace that and really bring your best, man, you can make a lot of money. Sounds good. Let me know. I hope you can see how valuable stuff like this, and stuff like this can be, because it gives you a fighting chance. And that's all we really ask for, right? Thomas says, Kimba, earlier you were talking about what we've noticed on the coin margin of last week. Yes, what did we notice, Thomas? That a lot of these pumps are scam pumps. What does that make you feel? Maybe the shorts will continue to get squeezed first. That part's a little bit, I think, more expressive of the individual's bias than actual data. I would say that S&P continues to show gammas that are lower and lower each and every day. So that makes me feel bearish on S&P a little bit on the medium time frame. So higher time frame, I would be bullish if it went to like 45 even 42. But on the medium time frame, I continue to see gammas every day show up on lower and lower levels. Have you been able to watch this with me every day? I don't know if you've been noticing, but like now we're seeing 4,700 again. A couple days when we started the week, it was like bottoming out around like 5,000. But then we started to see 49 come in, then 48 come in, then now 47. And so I would like to see maybe 4,600 show up on Monday. 45 show up on Tuesday or Wednesday. So I would still like to just continue to see this building lower and lower. And if that's the case on the higher time frame, I don't know about the day-to-day. Obviously, even on ES, I still have levels that I would like swept on up to the upside, like here. This is RTH ES. So I would love this. All this to get cleaned. Maybe we creep up all the way, like we were talking about with Fibception, get to those sweep levels, Bitcoin dot, whatever. And then Jerome Powell says, no rate cut. So I wish I had a better answer, but your guess is just as good as mine, brother. But if I were to answer that, I think it would be 0 TA, and it would just be a full-on display of my own subconscious bias. Verdi says, what's my definition of success? Being brave enough to dream big, grinding when you're told to just quit, giving more when you have nothing left. For sure. There you go. There you go. I mean, this is like, again, something that you would want to nerd out, but most behavioral psychologists and behavioral scientists, they'll say that human preservation and survival instincts will kick in right around the 70% marker. So right when you're about to feel like you don't have anything else to give, that you're completely, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally exhausted, that you can't go any further, you still have about 60-70% left. We got to do our thing next week, chat. We got GDP PCE coming up. FOMC. All this crazy nonsense. Political nonsense. Let's lock in. Stay safe. Bulls, Bears, we're all Lions. Root for each other. Help each other out. Exclamation Discord, exclamation YouTube. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the poker tournament. Have a great night, everybody. I'm going to be testing stuff for the stream, so you may see this stream restart, pop out, switch to this, switch back to this, switch back to this. Just bear with me. You're going to be doing a lot of testing tonight. Love you guys. Stay safe. Have a great night, everybody. Peace, yo. It's a cut choice. Sato, tell them what happens if they don't use stop loss. Cut choice.